You're expecting me to be the same level of affection that you are. And I'm just like not naturally as affectionate as that. And also, I'm not in a mental headspace to be very loving right now.
Hey besties, welcome back to the channel. So when two people start questioning whether they are meant to be together, it's usually a sign that the problems run much deeper than a single disagreement. That is exactly where Edward and Marissa seem to be on 90-Day Fiancé. What started as a conversation about affection quickly turned into one of the most revealing moments of their relationship, leaving viewers wondering if these two are truly ready to walk down the aisle. Right from the beginning, you guys could feel the tension between them. Marissa made the trip to New York specifically because she felt something was seriously wrong. Instead of easing into the conversation, she immediately opened up about feeling emotionally neglected, her eyes, you know, Edward Edward's behavior in her eyes had completely changed. She said he barely greeted her with affection, acted distant, and made her feel like she was constantly begging for the love and attention that used to come naturally between them. For Marissa, this wasn't about asking for grand romantic gestures. She simply wanted the warmth and closeness that had been there when they first fell in love from her perspective. Yeah. And then Edward had become cold, and she couldn't understand why someone who had once been so loving now seemed emotionally unavailable. Edward, however, had a very different explanation. He admitted that he is not naturally as affectionate as Marissa wants him to be, but he also revealed something much bigger. Mentally, he said he's struggling with everything happening in his life. He doesn't feel emotionally capable of constantly showing affection, hugs, and kisses. Instead of seeing his distance as rejection, he wanted Marissa to understand that he's simply overwhelmed. Unfortunately, that is where things started falling apart. Rather than feeling reassured, Marissa focused on how different he had become, and I feel that Edward, meanwhile, felt like every attempt he made was being criticized. It was almost as if they were speaking two completely different emotional languages. One wanted comfort and reassurance, while the other wanted understanding and patience. And that's where many relationships begin to crack. One of the biggest problems wasn't what either of them said, it was how neither of them seemed to truly hear the other. They kept responding to defend themselves instead of slowing down to understand where the other person was coming from. The conversation became less about solving the issue and more about providing, rather proving who was right. Then came the moment that completely changed the tone of the discussion. Edward admitted that he had started questioning whether they were even compatible anymore. He confessed that every time he put money down for their wedding or booked another vendor, a question kept running through his mind. In this wedding, even going to happen? Like, is this ever gonna happen? That confession hit Marissa like a freight train, like and after everything she had sacrificed to move forward with their future, hearing Edward question the relationship at this stage, it felt like ultimate betrayal. Like she couldn't understand why he waited until now to express such serious doubts. In her mind, if he had been uncertain all along, he should have spoken up before they invested so much emotionally and financially. Like it's easy to see why both of them walked away frustrated. Marissa starved for affection and worries she's no longer loved the way she once was. Edward feels emotionally drained and believes he's being expected to give more than he has left to offer. Neither concern is necessarily wrong, but neither partner seems capable of acknowledging the other's reality without becoming defensive. That's what makes this situation so complicated. Love alone doesn't automatically solve communication problems. Two people can genuinely care about each other and still struggle because they process emotions differently. Some people need constant reassurance to feel secure, while others withdraw when stress becomes overwhelming. Unless both partners recognize those differences, every disagreement starts like feeling like the same argument played over and over again. Another issue that's becoming impossible to ignore is appreciation. When someone constantly feels like their efforts are not being recognized, resentment quietly begins replacing affection. Over time, that emotional distance grows larger, making even simple conversations feel exhausting. At the same time, relationships can't survive if only one person feels responsible for carrying the emotional weight. Healthy partnerships require compromise, empathy, and the willingness to listen before reacting. Without those qualities, I feel that every disagreement becomes another battle instead of an opportunity to grow closer. Yeah, so as 90 Day Fiancé continues, Edward and Marissa are standing at a major crossroad. They can keep repeating this painful circle of misunderstandings, or they can finally confront the deeper issue hiding beneath these arguments. The real problem is not a lack of love, it's a lack of communication that allows both people to feel safe, understood, and valued. If they hope to build a lasting marriage, they will need to stop treating every conflict like competition. Instead, they will have to learn how to become teammates again, because in the end, relationships are not destroyed by arguments themselves. They are destroyed when those arguments become the only way two people know how to communicate. Tell me, you guys, what you think about this. I love to hear from you. But for now, I will bring you the updates. Hot, just the way you